Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Ro, and today I am going to be sharing with you a tutorial of how to make the picnic basket pouch that I have already posted over on my Instagram. And to make this pouch, we are going to start off with the ScrapDivaDesigns suitcase shadow box die set. I am just going to be using that one piece from the die set, which is the base, and we will start off by cutting 4 of those. And then I am going to mat them with a piece of cardstock, so the shape of the suitcase that is just going to be my guide so I can make the picnic basket. So once you mat all 4 of the bases that we cut, that's how it's gonna look. And you can see here I also cut off the handle part because we won't be using those. Up next, we are going to be doing some weaving, and for that, cut a bunch of 0.5-inch strips, and then the first thing we need to do is we are gonna glue just the corner just a little bit, just so it stays in place. A quick tip: if you are not gonna sew, then that's fine, you can do the weaving like I'm doing here. But if you are gonna do some sewing, I suggest that you sew the strips first before you start gluing them, because my mistake here, originally I did not want to do any sewing because it's a lot of sewing the strips. So I started doing the weaving, and then I just couldn't leave it alone. I started sewing it, and it does not come out as good as it would have if I sewed the strips first before doing the weaving. If you have been following me for quite a while now, then you've seen me do weaving styles on some of my projects. So now that you've cut your you've done your weaving, I am just going to trim the excess. You can do this on both sides of the basket, like the front and the back, but I'm just doing the front for this project. That's how it looks. And this is how it looks once you sewed it the wrong way. It still looks okay, but I would have preferred if I sewed it first. I sewed the strip first before, doing the weaving. And then here, 2 of those bases we are gonna glue together, and then the remaining one, because you know how we are cutting 4, the remaining one is going to be the back cover. Up next, I am going to be tracing our base to another piece of cardstock, and this cardstock is going to be the kind of like the blanket, the picnic blanket that is going to hang onto one side of our picnic basket. I am tracing the whole base, but I am gonna be cutting this off because I don't need the whole page. So I'm gonna trim the sides. Yeah, that is a print that I want to use for my blanket. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to flip it on the back, and then I'm going to trace I'm gonna draw some, like I'm gonna doodle this one that will look like a blanket is hanging. Later on, you will be able to see it like better. Cut that off. Okay, up next, if you are gonna sew, what you will do is you will sew only the bottom part, the one that I'm going to be pointing at right now. There, that bottom part, that is what you are gonna sew first, and then you will put these two together, and then you will sew around, including the top, so you can see there that the bottom part of that blanket isn't stuck onto the base. Up next, we are going to be making the back cover, and for this I am going to just glue one of our 4 bases. I'm gonna glue it onto another craft colored cardstock, and then these are the 2 remaining ones that we are gonna glue together. And then off cam, I just did a little stitching there, and I did some tearing just so we have it's not plain. And then now we have those, a total of 3 bases now. We are going to put that to the side, and now we are going to be working on our zipper panel. So for this, you are going to cut 4 strips, which measures 1 by 11, and then you are going to score them all at 0.5. This is what I'm doing right here. And then once you're done with that, grab another piece of cardstock. It would be best if you use a different colored cardstock. And this is just so that our zipper panel will have different colors, different designs. It's not just plain craft color. So here on one side of that strip, we are gonna stick this printed strips. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the strips, the printed strips, the red ones, that measures 0.5. 0.5 by, well, the length doesn't really matter as long as it's more than, it's not less than 11 inches. And then when I glued it, you see that it kind of like overhangs. You see it peeking out. So that is 0.25. I'm sorry. That's 0.25 inch that is peeking out of the craft colored paper. Next, we are gonna stick our zipper, and I found this technique easiest for me to put a zipper on. So what I did is I just added double-sided tape, and I taped the zippers before I sewed them so it doesn't move. So when you're done with your zipper pieces, I mean, you are going to end up with 2, and the measurement for those panel is going to be 3 inches wide. So you have to make sure that once you're done with the panels, they are 3 inches wide. Up next, you see here that we have some squares. We are going to cut 4 pieces of 3 by 2.5, and you are going to score 0.5 on 3 sides. So on the 3-inch side, you are going to score 0.5 on both sides, and then on the 2.5-inch side, you are just going to score at 0.5. Up next, we are going to cut some pattern pieces, pattern paper, and those pattern paper measure 2 by 2 inches. And then I did some sewing, and then I also cut some snips on the sides because we are going to fold those. And then once you're done folding that, we are going to put together our pouch. That is going to go there. And then once you put those sides, we are going to glue the zipper panels onto them. So before we put the zipper panels together, I am going to be cutting the excess zipper piece. And also I forgot to mention, before we glue those zipper panels onto our base, we are going to do some snips. I will be showing you how it looks if you are not familiar with that term that I call it. Now I am going to glue the two side panels, and later on we are going to do the same thing for the second pouch that we're making, because this is going to be a double zipper pouch. So this is going to be the first pouch. Now we are going to glue the other side panel here. And after we glue that down, we are going to glue our zipper panel. I forgot to tell you that zipper panels, we are going to do the snips on those. If you have been following me, you will know that you are going to be familiar whenever I mention snips, and later on you will see how it looks. I'm just checking again how it's gonna look once I put the first back cover. So now we are gonna put the zipper panel, and to do that we are gonna do the snips. Right now I'm just measuring and checking, and there you go. I glued the first onto the side of our first pouch, and next thing we are gonna grab that middle base that we did, the one where we glued the two bases together, and that's gonna be our middle base. Guess I don't really know like what to call it, but that's the first cover. And then next we are going to do the same thing again, glue the side panels, and then we are going to do the snips onto our zipper panel, and then we are going to glue them together. So I glued the first side of that second zipper panel, and the last thing we're going to do is we are going to glue the other side of that zipper panel onto our back cover. Up next, we are gonna cut out our bottom paper, and for that you are gonna cut you are gonna cut a 5.5 by 5 piece of cardstock, and then you are going to score 0.5 on both sides, and that is on the 5-inch side. Again, just to recap, The bottom is going to measure 5.5 by 5, and on the 5-inch side, you are going to score at 0.5 on both sides. Next, we are going to cut the mat, the printed paper, and that is going to measure 5.5 by 4. I suggest that you cut it just a little bit smaller than 5.5 by 4, just so you can see the brown piece like sticking out a little bit. And then I'm going to glue the mat onto our base, and then I am going to sew those two together. And then once you're done with that, you are going to glue that bottom piece onto our zipper pouch. Oh, before, I forgot to tell you, before I'm gluing that bottom piece, before closing our pouch, I am going to work on the straps, because it's going to be easier for me to like stick those two straps onto our pouch. So for this one, you are going to cut 2 pieces of 10 by 1. So you need 2 pieces, again 2 pieces of 10 by 1, because we're going to make double straps. And then I am also going to mat it with the same piece, the same cardstock color, which is the craft color. You can use a printed paper for this one, but for the mat I am cutting 2 pieces of 9.75 by 0.75. Once more, for the straps, we are going to need 2 pieces of 10 by 1 and 2 pieces of 9.75 by 0.75. And then you are going to glue those pieces together. The smaller strips on top of the thicker, bigger strips, just so it's going to add like sturdiness to our straps. And then you glue them together. If you're going to sew, you sew them together, those 2 pieces. And then once you're done sewing, we are now ready to put those 2 straps onto our pouch. So what I did here is I just added brads to put them onto the pouch. And then once you're done with that, we are now ready to put our bottom piece. I find it like tricky whenever I'm making a 3D project and it's closed off. Good thing we have the zipper, so I can just open that up and stick a dowel so I can fix the glue and make sure that both pieces are together, they're glued together. That's another staple in my craft corner, a piece of dowel, like long enough so it can reach like those places my fingers won't reach. Also, at the end of the video, I am not sure if I'm gonna show it here. I know I did not decorate this pouch, but what I did is I also added like a charm on the side. I added like a little bit of a piece of paper where I can like what do you call it? Where I can hook it. It's like it's not a pull tab, but it's like a tab, and then I put a charm on it so it has a charm dangle on the side. That is me putting my long dowel to good use. So guys, if you plan on making this using my tutorial, I would really suggest that you grab the shadow suitcase box from ScrapDivaDesigns so you can use the same measurements that I did. And if you already have this die set on your stash, so that's good. That's even better. So that's how it looks. So it's perfect. You can embellish it however you like, and this is so perfect for summer projects. So by then, like when I started working on this, that was supposed to be the end part, but then I realized that my blanket does not look like it came out from a pocket. So this is what I'm doing now. I just traced the metal die onto a piece of cardstock, like the craft cardstock. So I have I trimmed the corners so it will look the same as the corner of our pouch. And then, just for reference, this is around like 0.5 inch thick, because I wanted it to look like it came out, like that blanket piece came out of a pocket. So that is why I am adding this. So like 2 strips of 0.5 inch, and then for the bottom part, so it will really look like it came out of a pocket, I'm just gonna trim it a little bit because it's too long. And yeah, it was my mistake that I forgot to do this before I put the straps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trim that strip just a little shorter, just so I can insert it like halfway of that blanket. And you can see here I'm already having trouble like putting it in because it's already tight, but we made it work. And again, after this, all you need to do is decorate it. I would really like to finish this project, so maybe I'm gonna go back and grab this project from my shelf and decorate it. But we are done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are gonna make one again, please grab the ScrapDivaDesigns shadow suitcase box die set and use my code, which is Rhoda10. And that's it for now. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!